did the White House offer this congressman a job to drop out of a very important race? Well, the president was just asked that very question. I want you to guess how he handled it, and guess who is not satisfied.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Can you tell the American public, sir, what your White House did or did not offer Congressman Sestak to not enter the Democratic senatorial primary?
There will be an official response shortly on the Sestak issue, which I hope will answer your questions.
All right, my next guest doesn't really want to wait for an answer. He's calling for a full investigation of this Sestak mess. Congressman Arlen Specter, Republican from California. Good to see you again, Congressman.
Neil, good to be on. And to be honest, I will wait with bated breath for that answer. It's been over 5 weeks, or I'm saying over 10 weeks in coming. This was an easy question to answer because the allegation was very specific by Admiral, now Congressman Sestak, that he was offered a job in return for getting out of a race. I look forward to hearing what the White House has said. He has said it again and again. I talked to him on primary night when he beat Arlen Specter.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
How soon we forget.
And I asked him about that, and he said, yeah, I was. And he just moved on. But he's never offered any more details from that. Now, when Robert Gibbs was asked about this some time ago, he was kind of equivocating. This is what he said then.
I've talked to several people in the White House. I've talked to people that have talked to others in the White House. I'm told that whatever conversations have been had are not problematic.
I have no idea what that means. What does that mean?
You know, only in Washington would somebody even try to understand that kind of a mealy-mouth talk around. The truth is there's a direct allegation by a retired three-star admiral of what happened in the White House, and the interpretation that he had is pretty unambiguous. Somebody in the White House needs to say, no, I didn't say that, Joe Sestak is a liar, or yes, I said it, but I meant something different. Anything else will lead to more questions.
All right, but unlike prior sort of witch hunts, no offense to you, Congressman, this one has a lot of Democratic colleagues of yours supporting you. They want to get to the bottom of this. Now, if a statement were to come out to say we might have talked to him about other opportunities, but never a clear quid pro quo, what does that mean?
That means they're calling Admiral Joe Sestak a liar, because he was unambiguous in his claim. He was offered it in return for getting out of the race. Not offered it and it was too good a job to turn down, and as a result he would get out of the race, but he was offered it in return for getting out of the race. Admiral Sestak has also offered to give fuller and more complete answers if there's an investigation, but the AG, Eric Holder, has refused to have one, and the White House has continued to say that even though something was said, there's nothing wrong with it.
Where do you think this goes from here?
I think it goes down the same road that all these cover-ups that happen, and to be honest, in administrations of both parties, certainly Watergate would be an example. It goes down a road of partial answers will lead to more questions. Full answers will lead to finality, but it might and probably should lead to somebody in the White House being fired for making the kind of an offer that this president said would be unacceptable. And that's what we need to do. And Neil, if I may, when Nancy Pelosi talks about people needing to be fired at MMS, let's remember that the head who resigned today was a Clinton appointee brought back in by Obama.
That's a very good point.
With a very questionable record as to her management, and so essentially she will be twice responsible for big mistakes.
Well, no, you got it wrong, Congressman. As you know, everything is George Bush's fault, and you better get along with that and run along here.
Neil, George Bush didn't make the changes on MMS on his watch that were recommended. He'll take historical blame for some of that. But 2 years in, and this administration needs to own up to they didn't do anything
Well, you're
either.
right. I bet either side. I mean, there's got to be a statute of limitations on pointing fingers. But we'll see. Congressman, very good having you. All right.